So there should be a little button. That's brilliant. So that says recording has started. Okay. There isn't a mayor. There isn't a deputy mayor. So I appreciate the first number on the agenda is mayoral announcements, but the first item will have to be to elect a chair for the meeting. So it'll follow exactly the same procedure as any other motion. You propose, you second, and you vote.
Second.
Okay, and then we just vote, a show of hands if it's okay. Yep, we're all good. Thank you. Okay, so
Okay, Johanna, I know I can't really mayor announcements, but I know that Julian sends his best wishes from the other side of the world.
could I, sorry, would you mind if I just very quickly for that one, Councillor Evans's funeral, sorry, yeah, his funeral is on Friday.
Yes.
The post was shared up on Facebook, so the funeral details are out there as well, and the family shared those to the funeral director. So I will be going. I know 2 members of our ground staff are going as well to the funeral.
Well,
And
can I ask the favour then of the 5 of you? I'm not the mayor, but I mean the chair, and as we're on the title of mayoral announcements, and you mentioned the funeral, could I propose that we stand for a moment's silence in memory of our colleague, Stephen Evans, and so. That could be related, please. Okay, Haley, please check again. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're on mute, but you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Thank you. Do you have anybody else listening in? I can't see.
I can't see anybody that's applied to join the meeting at all. That's
Well, you just tell me if they are, and
Yeah.
check to see that you can hear all right. Okay, yeah. Okay, 2 is apologies for absence. Yeah,
we do have a few apologies for absences. Apologies for absence. So Councillor Bullman's apologies for absence, Councillor Pittman, Councillor Edwards, Councillor Harris, Councillor Lane, Councillor Evans. 1, 2, 3. And Councillor Gregory. There we are. 7 of them. Sorry, I put them written down. So
okay, thank you. Speedy recovery to those who are not well.
Yeah.
Okay, item 3, to receive members' declaration of interest in respect of the business being transacted. Any member got any interests?
Maybe on item 10, well, 10A.
Got the planning.
And I don't think, but I'll take your guidance on it, Kerry, whether with item 7A as the, I can see what the notice of motion is there that that's put forward, but whether that will go on to talk about the NPT-CPC link with the Mice Gwyn Fund.
I think even if it did, you're on that fund as town councillor at the moment.
Okay.
So you should be at your panelist anyway.
Okay.
And Hayley, can I put you down for the planning part as well, just in case?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, it's always the same. Sorry.
Okay, thanks. Item 4, public questions. Have you received any public questions?
I haven't received any public questions via email, written correspondence, or anything similar.
Okay, and there's no one here, so item 5, none. To approve the minutes of the full council meeting of June 2024. So the Wednesday, the 12th of June meeting.
That was our ordinary full council meeting.
Yes, I just put all the pages. Page 1, page 2, page 3, and page 4. Members happy to approve those?
Yeah.
5B is to approve the minutes of the emergency extraordinary meeting of the 19th of June. So that was one regarding the welfare park tenders. Again, page 1 and page 2, which is the scoring sheets. Happy to approve. 5C, to approve the minutes of the emergency additional meeting of the 26th of June. So the items of the council accounts and the return and also then the discussion we had about the parks and cemetery. So that's page 1, 2. I think that's it on that one. So then on page 2. Yes, yes, it does. So that one. Okay, happy to approve, or do you?
Yeah, can I ask for an update on that item, specifically item 5?
Yeah, you guys, just to approve the declaration, already, right, if I right.
Just want an update on the short term, under item 5, mayor and clerk to meet, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
and where we are with that.
No, absolutely. So me and Julian met with the ground staff the Friday, I think that was it, so straight away after that, and explained broadly what we discussed in the same sort of way and keeping with the minutes. And we asked them to make sure over the next 2 weeks, especially, there were 3 very specific things as well. So that the bins were seen as a priority, that they wore their body cameras, and that the team meetings for the time were like only there when I was there.
Yes.
I think Julian did also explain as well that there are going to be things in a broad sense. Yes, we'll work on a bigger plan, but right now, get the low-hanging fruit, get the things that everybody can see done. And then one of our ground staff was off for a week after that as well. So I know Councillor Blower and Councillor Lane met with everyone this morning and started that next phase then to get a list of things that they needed, things that they needed, things that they would like to see in the future, but also things then that we want them to do, because it's a case of, if I appreciate the stuff that we have to supply, so equipment and things like that, but then if there's extra stuff that's wanted, we're going to need to see some return on this.
Right, so
Is that?
Yeah,
No,
as long as it's moving along,
Yeah.
I think that's the important part. The detail obviously will come out in the wash.
Yeah, the medium term is on its way as well, so I've got some sort of financials around that and something in place.
It's good.
I suspect that a couple of items coming up later that might have to spend consideration on, but might not. Okay, so item 6. Matters pertaining to finance and budget. So 6A is to receive an update from the Welsh Audit Office and our audits. So 6A1, to approve the publishing of additional papers, amended internal audit report, explanation of variances, redacted annual accounts.
Sorry, that was just me to say, so I did go back to Kerry to ask her to amend the draft internal audit report. That's been done, that's not a problem. So what I wanted to do really is use this item to publish those items up on our Facebook, up on our website. I put a notice out as well that we've amended our accounts, or we've amended some of the documents on there, so they're all updated. There's an explanation of variances document that I worked on for the AGAR that I didn't publish with the original pack. So I just wanted to give a chance to have those out there in terms of public scrutiny as well. Our redacted annual accounts. So when we've done the AGAR, so the general return, we've done the approval of the accounts for the period of 30 days beginning in July. The public has the opportunity, or anybody does, to come and look at all of the accounts in depth. So that means that you can actually go through each individual invoice and every bit of paperwork in that way. I've not known it before, in fairness, but it's something that can happen. Do you want me to almost proactively just publish that information anyway? Whereby I could do all of that redaction and just put it up on a zip file straight away and send it round to you, or would you like to, if you would like to come and see it as councillors anyway, that's not a problem, or I can just publish it wholesale. Otherwise, it just stays on the system and I can just allow people read-only access to it. That's not an issue.
The recommendation or
But
It's not normally done. I was just thinking that if we did start to get like lots of people who wanted to come into the office to see it all, rather than keep photocopying it every single time, because that's what you have to do, is it best to just do it once and publish?
how much reduction is involved?
There's loads and loads of redaction in one way. On the other hand, I would only maybe press to do it if we got like 5 or 6 people coming in a week. So I'm not asking to do it like right now, unless you think proactively, do you know what, let's just do it once and get it done with. But if I get 5 or 6 people, are you happy with me putting up on the website in the future?
Yeah, I think that's probably wise if you're looking for our authority that you can.
Yeah, so if I need to do it.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be published anyway, can't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
So,
It's not the case, but I mean, unless anybody wants it, it's not standard practice to put it all up there in one go because it's an awful lot of files, basically, it's an awful lot of data.
by doing the publishing, you can get people in the office.
Yeah, in theory, yeah, you don't get people coming into the office in that sense then, but we've not had it before, and like I said, if it's 1 or 2, it's not an issue, it's just a case of if it's 3 or 4 or 5, then you're looking at photocopying everything again and going through.
Share things, yes, some best time.
So should we give the authority and look at it? We'll implement that if and when she thinks that's necessary. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so 6A2 is to notify council of correspondence with the Welsh Audit Office from 2022-2023 financial year.
Yes, sorry, this isn't a worrying thing, or it's not like they've come back and said, by the way, you've not done anything. This is literally because we had a full audit for 22-23, they're going through it. They've got a backlog of like several years on any correspondence to them from members of the public. But this one has come up, so there was an email sent to us and them in July 2022. So just so you know, I have answered it. I've spoken to one of the senior auditors there as well via email and via telephone conversation. So they will take it forward and respond, not on our behalf, but with their understanding and reasoning based on the feedback that we've given as well. So if I get anything more back from that, I will let you know. But it has taken up about 2 or 3 hours in the last sort of week.
Yeah.
Just so, yeah, and that is fair. It does take that amount of time, just so you know as well. That's, that has come through.
Okay, members okay with that? So 6B is to approve the payment schedule with the additional £11,745.53 wages as per contracts. So, Gary, will just summarise that, and we've got the.
Yeah, the payment schedule's there. The wages are the wages. I think we've spent circa £8,000 in the last month. Are there any items on there you want to look at?
No items on there.
Oh, no problem.
What do you mean by as per contract?
Oh, so it's just literally contracted hours, so no
Right,
overtime, no nothing. So if there's overtime, I've done that sort of separate.
Yeah, so members happy with the schedule? If you see any big numbers, you want to ask questions about it?
Sorry.
I suppose, you know,
Yeah, go for it.
if you're looking at it from a perspective of spend, you know, and I'm guessing the spend on consumables, cafe consumables is for the cafe downstairs, etc.
Yeah.
Are we getting value for money? Because ultimately, and I'm right in saying this, aren't I, that it's still us as the town council that are running the cafe downstairs.
Yeah.
Income and expenditure, expenditure wise. So are we getting value for money in terms of where we are purchasing our items from?
I think we aren't. On one hand, in terms of actual just like raw cash, no, we could probably go somewhere cheaper.
Yeah.
But then I have to factor in how am I getting there and how will we get, because I'm not sure, like I think before we used to have a contract with Castle Howell. I don't think we purchase enough in that sense for that.
So
Which is, it's an odd cusp at the moment. So for example, Byron's Butchers, we get the bacon and sausages from. It's really good quality stuff. Kevin does that on his normal shop on a Saturday, so we don't pay mileage or anything like that.
Okay.
The stuff like the bread and things, the only thing I can think of is genuinely having a look at getting like an Asda delivery or something similar.
It's just whether we're getting value for money.
Yeah.
You know, I'm guessing whether the values that we're spending on a weekly or not. This is a monthly basis.
Yeah.
On a monthly basis.
It's always
not
covered by what we bring
Yeah,
back in,
it's
because
not-
we've always got cash
So
for the
it
till.
relies on supply and demand, doesn't it? So if there are not many people
Yeah.
come in, you don't need so much stuff. So you can't stockpile the stuff, you can't store it because you don't know if you're going to need it and it might go out of date. So you're relying on popping over the co-op or something to pick
Yeah.
up when necessary.
Plus
Is that
it
right?
means that the staff that are actually on the day can go and do that instead of
Yes.
asking for me to
Yes.
come back and do
Yeah.
it, because it
Yeah.
is the bane of my
Yeah.
existence, stock management.
No. No, I get that. I don't wish to say it in this manner, but I will say it in this manner.
No, that's fine.
Clearly, that's not operating correctly, is it?
No, it's not.
In terms of
It's
the best
most
value.
efficient.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I think it's a case of, it's something that they can do
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
So the value clawback is the fact that I don't have to do it and spend my time doing it, and they can literally go back and forth.
Yeah.
I think if it was to run business wise, like commercially and stuff, yeah, absolutely you'd want contracts with food, basically, with like Castle Cowell,
Yeah.
sort of stuff. And like I said, the only way I think of doing it, maybe going and doing the Asda delivery type stuff, co-op delivery route in that sense.
We have a freezer, it's not massive, so we can store a small amount, but yeah, I say the turnover of the road is not as big as it that once was planned to be, you know,
No,
years ago. But I think it seems to work okay as far as I can see, but I'm not sure. As you say, you're paying a little bit more locally, but then you're saving on time, better and effort. But I'm not precious about where we get them. You know, as long as it's nice stuff and we can do it all right.
So do you know how much is being sort of coming in and how much is going out? Do you know, is it sort of clearing what, or it's the money?
Oh yeah, it washes the space in that sense. Yeah, absolutely. So and we know that because we pay out with cash and we get cash in. So even the bigger bigger purchases in terms of the meat, for example, that's £60 in cash that comes out of that till, if you take it like that, and then whatever comes in is a receipt. So there is nothing, there is no point at which we've not got any money on the till. So there's no point at which we go into like negative money for that account.
So it always comes, but you know, paying now wages and all that, if you take that into consideration.
No, it doesn't wash its face at that point, no. So that's why that is grant funded with the National Lottery. If you took the wages into account, no, we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Just no, sorry.
Mhm.
Okay, just look at things. Let me just pick something up.
Yeah.
But that has made this head with me somewhere else very recently. Do we pay the staff through payroll?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. Okay. And following on from what Julie said, could we at some point see a profit and loss for a period in time for the cafe? Is that possible?
Including the wages? It's possible.
Maybe without.
It's just so that I know. Yeah, that's fine. I did one quite recently as well, so
Okay.
I can run one.
Yeah, this is a spreadsheet. isn't it?
So
Yeah.
that's fine.
If we can have that, that would be useful to see, I think. And then
Yeah.
clearly, because that is going to form part of the discussion for the item on the closed agenda, isn't it? Because that
Yeah.
is incorporated into what that looks like going forward, doesn't it, or not?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
no,
we should.
But we've got to be careful with the wages, because we're only talking about, well, two people who do one job. We can't publish
No,
it outside of that.
Oh no, it will be for internal use only. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But we could
It would be quite easy to do without the wages anyway, and that would be public because receipts, income and expenditures are public.
I think it'd be a good thing to do because, you know, I
Yeah.
just think we're thing to do
Yeah.
publicity,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because, you know.
It's not ability,
Yeah, just accountability.
Yeah. And we can show it then, yeah, exactly. Like in terms of food and drink, that thing is what it's
You know,
for. Yeah, no worries.
Okay, I pause. If there are no further questions on the sheet, then can we please approve the payment schedule? Yeah. Okay, item 6C, to approve motor insurance payment for Kubota, value of 272.80.
Yes, sorry, this is, so we get this, it has to be, it's every July, so it's not in the same synchronization as our other insurances. So it's £272.80 for the Kubota for the year. It's with the same brokers that we have our other insurance with. So it's either Clear Councils or BHIB, they change the name every now and again. And it is a standard sort of farmers insurance on it.
So it's equivalent of fully comprehensive as opposed to third party fire and events.
Yeah, it's all in everything. Yeah, it's the same one we've had basically since we started.
Kubota,
Oh, the Kubota is the tractor, the ride-on proper tractor. Yeah, that we've got.
so they're going to be trained to a certain level and all that, is it?
Yes, to go out on the road, you'd have to have a driver's license anyway. On our own land, we've only got one ground staff without a driver's license, but they've got sort of some farm training, I call it, so familiarity training. But to be honest with you, I told them to get off the tractors.
We need the insurance in place, so I'm as happy to accept that. Yes, yeah. 60, to consider trimmer machinery quotes.
Can I just go back a little bit on the insurance? You know, with the insurance system to drive the tractor. And Kerry said then, I didn't know the client has been told to get off it.
Oh no, I told him to not be driving it on the road.
On the road.
Yeah.
Could he
doesn't in fairness, but I did tell him to get off
okay
it.
to drive that one?
Yeah, that's a different. Yeah.
On private transit.
What do you mean the little ride-on up to
Yeah.
Pembroke? Yeah, that's completely different. That's not a road. That's literally a little ride-on lawnmower. Yeah. No worries. No, that's fine.
Okay, so we've done that insurance. As I say, 60 is looking at new trimmer and new quotes. What have we got for those?
So this one, sorry, is comes to us maybe for the moment, but I have got papers. I just don't have anything.
I mean, I've got the different quotes for different machines, likewise from various different companies. And we've got to take in consideration white finger, anti-vibration, that sort of thing, because our machines at the moment haven't got. So what I've done is gone to not the most expensive, but gone to the trimmers that are vibration friendly. I've got all the numbers in for the kind of vibration, which, you know, it's going to bore you to talk about that. But the upshot is I've had 3 quotes for different prices as farmers and stills from reputable companies. And the Husqvarnas are coming in the best. I've spoke to the mechanic that we've recently had, you know, with that segment.
Wait, no, that's right. I'll go through that bit. That's all right.
Well, he's given us a recommendation. He needs to take these things, one of those governments on road, and it needs a proper service. So what I'm asking of the particular bodies that the council should do is 2 trimmers, one for the park and one for on the bottom. They stay where they are. They then get maintained by this chap. And at the same time, any of the ones that we look at, he's there to fix them all the time. So he's always got a spare one.
So it's a maintenance and repair contract.
There is no excuse that I won't be in, you know, there will be a working trimmer. But if we go for new ones, we've also got a guarantee on the new ones as well.
All
So there's no maintenance repair contract for a minute.
Oh.
That's a separate thing. So as a background, that Husqvarna that we've already got is ancient. Somebody actually wants to put it in a museum. They do work, but we've had issues with them and we've had repair issues all the way through. A couple of them, we had one just said, the very first lot I took up there, I think I took 3 or 4 up there, and one of them came back and he said, that's not going to work. That is actually condemned. That's not worth it. We've got 2 working trimmers at the moment. They are, like I said, ancient, they're heavy. There has been a gentleman who John contacted who came down to have a look at all our equipment to see what have we actually got and what do we need in terms of, I'm wary of buying things that aren't commercial. I don't want to buy something that we're just like sort of, oh, that's only ever going to be meant to be used in somebody's back garden. We trim that like daily when we need to. Sorry.
The quotes I've had as well, so I'd carry up there is for professional trimmers, not the back garden.
Yes, so we've got 2. So one in each site as part of what John and Sandra did today as well. They went around and, well, they told the boys that you have sites, and it was you've now been told you've got one at one end, one at the other end, and one between. If you put one on each side, it shouldn't need to go between either with this particular bit of kit. So we've still got issues like we've only got one blower, but we since got a smaller blower
Yes.
thing. So we've got 3 strimmers or 3 quotes, 4 strimmers. The Husqvarnas are the better ones, they just last in fairness longer. Do you want to tell them what prices we've got?
We've got some quite a varied prices for exactly the same machines from different companies. They're ranging from 700 to 1100. Husqvarnas are coming in quite a bit cheaper. If you take a VAT off, I'm there at 650. And if you go for the one that is they're all professional, but there is one that's a little bit more used for the normal councils either, get more a week, I suppose. But that's only £50 a year, and that's what they call the RST model, which is this white finger thing. But I asked them for a little knowledge on what all that's about.
How much of a guarantee, a year or 2?
They're all against you. Yeah. But you won't get much more than that anyway. But so nothing like that. I mean, my choice, I've used strimmers, I got them all the time, but I tend to buy back garden strimmers. And I just changed 2 engines on them. So we don't have it on that. The Husqvarnas, I would say, they're probably our best buy. I prefer still myself, but Husqvarnas come in a better price, and they've got everything they need. And they're relying on the machine, machine. So those are the ones I would suggest myself after speaking to them.
What new ones then, is it?
Yes.
New ones.
So
So
your recommendation is to go for that particular
Husqvarnas, yeah.
Sorry,
that particular
trying to keep
machine.
John to do it.
Uh,
What you want to do is read the, so you say you've got 3 quotes.
Yeah.
And you say 1 quote is this much, 1 quote is this much, 1 quote is this much.
Yeah, well, I've got a quote of this much was for still it was £1,100.
Mhm.
Husqvarnas was 700. This is plus VAT, £796. And I've got a quote then again for stills 800 and 740 respective. That one then came at Husqvarna, it was 1150 and 900. And the best one I had was Husqvarna, including that, which is the ones that we were looking at the top of the range one as well. Not really on top range, £733 including that.
So they're all the same comparable machines.
So without naming suppliers, because we're in open session, your recommendation is in terms of best value, that last one.
Yeah.
And Gary, just to check the budget permits what we want to do.
We probably have to via money from reserves. So we've always got a reserve budget for the equipment with the parts. But we've also got a sanitary equipment reserve as well, and sanitary equipment budget line. So we've got the money there as long as we're happy to via money reserves wise.
Thanks for that, John. So
it's
happy
up to you whether you want
to
to buy
follow
it.
that recommendation. You okay with that?
I don't have any major issues with it. I think it all depends on how we go long term.
Yeah.
In the short term, obviously we need something, and if we can afford it,
If we've got them as well, whatever happens, we can sell them.
yes, they would be
And
an asset.
yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say was you mentioned, you touched on vibration by finger.
Yeah.
Whatever we do have checks.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So at the moment, we've got machinery up there. Because of its age, I haven't tested it, so I've just added on a generic thing, so the gentlemen are not allowed to use it for more than 4 hours.
It's specified total.
Yeah, but that includes, so the blower, for example, is actually more damaging than the strimmers. So what I say is it's 4 hours in total, but if you're strimming, you are only allowed 45 minutes with the blower, for example. And that's per day, so they do have to have a period in between them when they aren't using it.
What about safety advisors and?
So we're having a check through all of that as well then, because I did realise, like, when I went and tried to do the strimming, where is the stuff for this? What do we actually use and everything? I mean, I've got my own kit, so I brought it with me. I don't know why, because I've never done strimming before, which was fun. But yeah, we will need to look at that as well going forward. So because that is, they've got the headphones, they've got all of it as like separate bits of kit. But for the strimming especially, the full face sizes, especially now with the new issues with like dog mess and things more than anything, because it flicks back up. So
Yeah. So John, you want to propose that?
Yes, well, that's what I propose.
Yeah,
Yes.
second. All happy? Thank you very much for that bit of research, John. Okay, so item 6E is to approve bank reconciliations. And we can take items 1, 2, 3 and 4 as one if you want.
You can, all I would do is actually there are enough of you here, like, right, so if anybody wants to have a look, obviously these are up online as well, but you are, John, you check that figure matches the one I've highlighted there. You're the chair of finance, you're not allowed to do it. Martha, if you check that my figure on the front sheet equals the end sheet, Julie gets it on. Julie, do that one. Simon, you happy to check that figure matches the figure on the bottom of the second statement? The second page of the statement. Oh, honest to God, I have been known to just like transpose numbers.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What what's to do now? Just got a question on the bank accounts. Unity current account is our current account. TSB
Yes.
current account is our current account, which
Yep.
is the problem. So the Unity seller account is the seller
Student,
student loan
yes,
account, number one student grant
Nope.
account, and then the Unity Mice Gwyn account.
is the money that the most win money comes into.
Right. So
I'm
yeah.
not sure why we had separate accounts set up in that way, other than it made sure that it couldn't just get spent. So Unity Seller and Unity My Squim
Yeah.
cannot be spent out of. You have to transfer
Yeah,
them.
they transfer over. Can't put it up.
Yes, so I think that's probably that's why they were set up to
Yeah.
safeguard those.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say was not the student grant account, because that obviously has an amount of money that gets
Yes.
drawn down
Yeah.
from, but the Unity Mice Gwyn account,
Mhm.
in theory,
Should be zero.
zero.
Yes.
So the value in there,
Because we drew down money, so we've had money from, for example, the skate park
Yeah.
grant. All of the money that went out for other Mice Gwyn
Yeah.
grants was immediately
Yeah.
transferred out.
yeah.
That is our admin fee.
Right,
Yeah, and that accrues interest.
Yeah.
So that will come up in our finance and audit committee.
yeah,
Because I'd like to use that account.
well, it's just paid for swimmers, isn't it?
It's 2.75%
Yeah,
interest, and if you don't mind me taking this one right now, that is an account that we can use as a savings
Yeah.
account. It will come up with finance as well. Please let me transfer money to it like right now, all of our reserves.
It makes sense. Yeah. You got the environments.
Yeah. I want to double check with the terms and conditions of the bank account, because I don't want it to be a case of like we only take in a certain amount of, but I don't think that would be the case. I don't want to turn around and say, oh, we only allow a certain amount of income to come in. But if I can move £120,000 out of this account
Yeah.
into that one, we accrue 2.7% increase on it per quarter, which over the year is 16 grand.
Yeah.
That would be excellent. So,
That's okay for most of us.
yeah,
Baby monitoring stations.
are there any penalties?
Yes.
And check with our member regulations, there's nothing in there that says that it's got to be done in a certain way, otherwise I'm sure you can report back to us and we can retrospectively authorize whatever you've done.
Are you happy? I mean, in terms of the payment schedule, I'd have to bring back transfer authorisations anyway, of anything over £10,000. Are you happy for me to just minute in the payment schedule section that we transfer? If I transfer right now 100,000, and I know we've got, we're fine. I'll transfer that tomorrow. But even those transfers, oh no, they don't have to be authorised, but they do come back on payment schedules. They do come back in our account system.
Yeah.
So it's all
Track.
locked and checked. Yeah.
So subject to those checks that I suggested you do,
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it.
That's right.
Members, okay with that?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Excellent.
That sounds like a good move. Well done, Pierce. Okay, so if you're happy with that item, the bank reconciliations item. Yeah, I have
No.
seen them online. Okay, so 6F, to check and approve any bank reconciliations missed in 2024-25 year date, and one is April, two is May.
I don't think so. We didn't miss them as these. So I know I showed you these, and these went up individually. So they have done for April and May as well, I'm sure. Because I know I did it. They are these. So these 3 sheets in the middle. So I've got June's there as well, actually, but I'll bring that back just to make sure we do it properly. So that actually is where it reconciles all banks against all statements, and it on the computer system, on the software system, it actually saves that reconciliation. I upload all of our bank statements as well. And it's there as a record for our internal auditor because she accesses our Scribe, and when the Welsh Audit Office love them, ever want access to Scribe, is there for them as well. So it's all kept in one file, and so it shows you your unpresented checks, so anything that hasn't gone through yet on that month. So for example, money will be written in a checkbook, but nobody's cashed that yet. It shows your receipts that haven't been cashed yet, and your outstanding sales invoices as well.
The value of receipts on there, is that a preset?
I'm so sorry.
Each month. And
Receipts between those, it's all types, so it's preset and all types and anything.
Do you split the preset up monthly, because you used to get quarterly?
No, we get it quarterly. Yeah, no, it's because that came through, so that's April's, it came through on April, very good.
But the main one is exactly the same, or similar thing.
Well, that's because it's receipts from April.
Oh, sorry, April. Right, okay, you're back, Glenn. But then, thank you.
No, that's all right. No, so yeah, no, actually it's a good point because your bank reconciliations total through the months as well. So yeah, as Simon's rightly pointed
It's
out.
good, is it?
Yes, yes, that is the word.
just to check,
I've been here since 9 and done it.
you mentioned the preset, the word quarterly, but I guess, but it's 3 times a year we get that.
1, 2, 3.
3 presets. That's what we used to get.
Quarterly. Hang on, because
34.
71 every time, isn't it? So 71 times 3 is 21. Yeah, okay, so every 4 months.
So we get it.
Yeah, right.
The next one is August.
August.
And then there's one in
April.
Christmas.
So we had one in April, May, June, July, August, yeah.
And we get one just before the end of it.
Yes, yeah. But
Just
we had random, like right at the end of the year. And it's
Yeah. Oh, just checking.
no, fair enough.
Perhaps that's to make the county figures look better, because you can't pay it out until the last minute.
They paid us twice one year. Let me claim all the money back.
That was before the coalition came in.
Oh, no, I know.
Promise.
I was like, oh my good lord, look at this. No, it's not stupid, go for it.
I think it is.
No, go for it.
There's no interest here. You don't get any interest in it, do you?
No, not on, this is the issue. So we don't get any interest on our TSB or the Unity account. It's only the seller and the Mice Gwyn labelled, but I labelled them, the council accrue interest.
How's that then?
I do not know. I imagine it's just terms and conditions of the bank when they were set up.
Is it not allowed councils to?
No, the council can.
Yeah, that's what you're suggesting about
And we-
that.
I only really twigged when I saw once come back in the skate park fund for Mice Gwyn. We had a lot of money in the account and the interest was just incredible. In terms of what I've normally seen interest come back at like 65 pence. So I was at that point, I said, well, hang on, why haven't we sort of moved stuff around? I double checked with our auditor as well. So what will happen going forwards is that we put the money now into the savings account. Interest comes back in. I will present.
Talking about, is that what?
Yeah, so I'll bring that back every quarter when it comes in to council to show us a receipt, and we will. So the idea is that at that point, council will decide what you're going to invest that in. Councils cannot make a profit, ours can't, we have a general power of competence, but they can earmark reserves and they can reinvest it. So every quarter, allocate it to something, a project or something similar. You can allocate it for future projects as well. So if you know something's going to take £32,000, you can let it accrue, but it needs to be allocated.
But it's better than not having it on.
Well, that's
Absolutely, yes.
So much work. It's
others.
Can I ask something else? I don't know if you've heard about this little app that's called Quidco.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can the council pay for things and then have the money back in interest on that account?
Or like a cashback account in that sense. I think that's going to be down to the terms and conditions of that app or that financial package. Some things won't allow corporations. So you know, like the Tesco Club card or something similar.
Yeah.
If you're a corporation, I don't know if it's true, but usually you can't claim back like points or anything like that if you're buying on behalf of a business.
Because Screwfix, they do it. Amazon, budget is Quidco. My kids have got me onto it. Certain things, like if you're buying like something £600, sometimes they offer 3 or something on %, and they track it, and you might not have it back for a while, but it does accrue all the time. Amazon do it, believe it or not. I didn't even know that Amazon did it.
Yeah.
No, you're just, you know, say you see something online, and you go to different places to see the prices, and there's different prices, but Screwfix will say, oh, 2.2%. So if you buy it as you buy it, but it just, you have to log into it, and it just sends the money automatically to your account. It's mad, really, but not straight away. You'd be surprised how many places do it, because I can't go on that. But it might only be a few pounds. But when you spend £600 or a years ongoing, it's Quidco it's called. It's a little app. I didn't actually say that, but I can use it, so it's quite easy to use. And also it does, when insurances, you can have £30 off stuff sometimes of your insurance. When you go to compare the market.com, and you have different insurances. It's
so is it a search engine general? What is it like?
No, it'll track into your bank in some way, shape or form. So it'll track you somewhere along the line to find out what you spent.
I know, it's a revelation, isn't it?
That's what fucking interact.
Especially if it's allowed. I don't know.
Unrelated to that, I was going to say, when later this year, just focus my attention on the amount of money we might get in our account because of the welfare park, which might be something we can do at the time.
Yeah, interest-wise. Yeah, if it's allowed for a short amount of time.
Yes,
That's right.
Yeah, because we need to pay back the VAT, and we need to cover the VAT on that. So that's fine.
We'll actually need to make sure that we time that right.
Yes.
Being issue with VAT we've had at the rugby club.
All right, okay.
Because you're going to get to the end of the VAT quarter and get it back straight away, as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
So we need to focus the attention on the supplier, whoever it is we choose that gets through the process. To make sure that
pay it and then reclaim it straight away.
Yeah.
Just in time coming ahead.
We are fine in terms of financial situation, even if we have to wait until whatever, we can pay that anyway. So that's
not necessarily. It depends what terms the terms and conditions. We've yet to agree those terms and conditions with them yet.
yes.
Well, in terms of Julie's point, and maybe that can be investigated.
Well,
Right? And
it's not going to be a lot.
So you have to then for me.
Well, I could show you what I've done. And then, we can't have over times. Then look after the pennies and the pounds look after themselves. Come on, something.
okay.
Are you happy with the bank reconciliations?
Yes. I
Sorry.
was going to say, I guess that's something I can be
That's right. I just
out of school afterwards, but this item, then you happy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Right, move on to item 7. So matters pertaining to government and age to consider the following motion for a new committee. It's in my name, and it says to establish a council committee as a specific panel for the My Spring Fund, comprising of 9 members, noting that the quorum figure there being 3. So shall I speak to that briefly? Actually, the mayor's away, so he's apologised. He was very anxious that this motion be put forward tonight, so I submitted it knowing that he was away. The point being that I've been on this committee for quite a few years, and members will remember that sometimes we're scraping the quorum together to make the meeting. The main complaints that we've been getting from Boral is that there are some members who weren't showing particular interest, maybe in the fund, not in the panel, and then as a result, we were occasionally not being able to take a decision. Didn't happen very often, but it did happen at least once. So, and I know that there are other thoughts coming through from Paul Ender, but what I wanted to put forward was that we as a town council, being the closest democratic elected people, I suppose, to look at this, set up a panel. It's not the whole of council. All of council would be 14, and therefore the rules the law says that the quorum has to be 5, as you divide by 3 and round up. So it's the proposal is to set up a 9-person committee. Then the quorum is only 3. And then that 9-person committee be put to council and members can put their names forward. Some 1 or 2 people might not want to be on it, others will. But I'm confident that given that at the moment with the quorum rules, if we have a 9-person committee established, that we won't be looking at meetings that don't happen because of quorum. And there are other ways of setting up a paneling and that, but that is the proposal I want to put forward on the table. Okay, so as long as people understand it, that's my proposal.
Sounds a lot easier. If you've only got 3 there, you have to start about the quorum, yeah. By second articles.
Well, I know you were around.
I know, I always got called.
Saying, come in quickly, we have enough people.
Phone can done it.
So members, I will throw it open. Simon,
There are a couple of things on this. One is we know already that we've got a meeting coming up with Paul Eloise, who has come up to talk to us about their proposals for the Vice Square Fund. So first of all, I don't think we can agree anything until we've seen that proposal from Paul as well, to understand what that looks like. And the reason I asked about my adversion of interest was because obviously the Vice Square Fund isn't a Glynneath Town Council owned fund. It is Glynneath Town, isn't it? We're the ultimate owners on it. So as the ultimate owners, they could decide how they manage it or administer it more than we would, because we can't. Ultimately, you know, I suppose I get what you're saying, and maybe a couple of years ago that would have been a great proposal because it would have sorted a lot of problems out. But in fact, it's probably not got any teeth, because if Paul comes up and wants to do something slightly different, which we are yet to see, that would override this, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So my sort of admin side issue of it is just what terms of reference do you want to put in it? Because like we can sort of we could put together a set of terms of reference now, but next week that might change.
yeah, that's why.
So do we potentially look at? I mean, I can do that. That's fine, but I will just be doubling the work, because if that changes the week after, then
Yeah, all I wanted to put in place tonight, right, was this council's decision. If it's overturned, overruled, or if something better comes along, then we have to rescind it. But I wanted Paul and Eloise, I'll be frank, you know, to know that we as a council are putting something forward proactively. That it's a proposal which I believe strongly is a sensible proposal. It's also democratically better than what we've got at the moment, because we're all elected representatives, yes. I will carefully word this. The ones who put themselves forward for the panel will obviously have a passion for giving out grants. I'm not suggesting that the other 5 would be totally disinterested at all, but I'm just putting it that way. That it'll be more likely that the fact that the 9 people who are on the panel, and certainly the people who turn up to meetings, will be, you know, the right people to do the right job. Yes, we could be listening next week to issues which might possibly undo this, but I think it's democratically correct for us tonight to put it forward as our intent as a council, and then our intention is to establish this. Leave the details about the current term of reference. They might be trumped by something else next week. But
I was only going to say, because I've already put the agenda out for the extraordinary meeting.
Yeah, we know that. Yes.
So that's fair enough.
Right.
I know the full council's been asked that.
For a second for that meeting not to happen.
I'm just thinking, do you want to? So like you said, so if you leave in the terms of reference and things until a potential first meeting of that committee, then yeah, absolutely, that just takes any admin stuff. I don't have to write anything right now. So
I would hope to possibly with Paul and at least my assistants in that, but doesn't mean. Okay, so that's what I propose. Simon,
yeah, I be honest with you, I see no sense in agreeing that tonight. I see sense in deferring it to be discussed at next week's meeting when we look at the alternative that Paul and Eloise want to put forward as well. I see no benefit in agreeing that here tonight. Genuinely, I don't. I think also moving forward, one of the things I do know that we probably need to change is that proposal there would mean that Kerry would still be minister of it, possibly. And I think that's something we have to go away from. And whether that is what Paul and Eloise are thinking, that it gets taken back to them to administer as they would the SELAC, that you're aware of, that for many years. I think, not taking anything away from Kerry, but Kerry is awfully busy doing day-to-day governance and council issues, as well as helping us with the projects. Welfare Park is very busy, this place is very busy, and the town hall is very busy, as well as the staffing issues. And I don't know where she finds the hours in the day to do it all. I really don't. So I have concerns about doing that, keeping Kerry as the minister of it. And I genuinely think we should defer it from tonight. I see no benefit in it.
Right, well, I deliberately didn't include anything about administration or the terms of reference, because that can be looked at in different ways. But
Well, statement says we can't see any benefit of taking it forward for next week, or the next meeting. But I think the benefit there is that we are showing sort of support for intent to keep it, and
it's that what I want, right?
So when we speak to Paul and Eloise, then they could see that we've already started to look at the situation and trying to rectify things.
Yes, it's
Whether they turn it over or not is another thing, but at the same time, I for one want to keep it up this end.
It's a proposal to improve on the situation we've got at the moment. And I think that the size of the panel and the quorum does that. It's also a plea to retain the democratic locality of it, and that,
And we should never have any.
The points well made about the administration and terms of reference, which can be discussed following that meeting. I'd be, keen to hear what Paul and Eloise have got to say. But as a matter of principle, I'd like to see us that we vote then to establish a 9-person committee for the purpose of the MySpring panel, the details of which terms of reference and the admin can be adjourned till after we've had that discussion with Paul and Eloise and see whatever else they come up with. But it is the intent to show willing and to show our request.
And the sweet quorum is a lot easier to.
Exactly. Really good.
Because there is only 2 of us here tonight.
Yeah, that is to show our intent before next week's meeting. As I say, they might.
But will that make a difference?
Yes, I think so. It'll make a difference to the decision of this council, what we want. Whether we get it in the end is up to other people.
Can I just pick up on what John said about taking it back away from up here, is what you said. I don't know what is going to be proposed in detail, but clearly it is a MySpring Glynneath fund, like the fund is in Onfloy. I know that the fund in Onfloy isn't managed by the Community Council, for example. So in Onfloy it's managed by, I think it's the county member, some of the Community Council, and some lay people, which works very well, so I'm told. Okay, whether that's what Paul is suggesting bring up to here, but it's not taken away from anybody in Glynneath to decide how the money is spent. It's just a case of, are the town council the right people? Do we follow the system like perhaps they've got over there or something different? I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
The only other thing I was going to say, sorry, just to finish off, and I'll say more on the subject then, is, as I said at the start, I don't think this has teeth. Because if Paul and Eloise did this through the proper channels to meet with John, and that's what I was declaring, and just to move on as well. If we agree this tonight, next week, it has no teeth. Paul and Eloise tell us the way it's going to be run, and that's the way they would go ahead.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. If we don't pass this tonight, we'll have the meeting next week. Paul and Eloise will come up with a model, maybe similar to what you've described over in the other valley, maybe different. And we basically on a clean sheet of paper, and they come up and propose that. The whole purpose of this tonight is to show the intent of this council to try to persuade all other ways. There is another way, not necessarily do it the same way as the Next Valley. The way that we want to do it is to retain, I know it's going to be local, but we are the democratically elected local tier of government. And we are the most democratically local people to do it, including yourself and I mean, the county members, right? And we have legitimate authority, then, if you like, as elected people to do this, and whoever are the councillors in the future will be in the same boat. If there are other people, potentially lay people or representatives from other organisations involved, yes, they'll be local, of course they will, but they want to be democratically elected, they'll be indirectly elected, and that's not as close to the ground as directly elected, and that's what we are as a town council. So yeah, we may be overturned after next week or after further discussion, but if we don't make our intent known and you know, our desire to run this like the words saying, then okay, we're not even in the game. So I am very keen to push with this. Well, this came from the mayor originally, and I totally agree with him that we need to pass this motion this evening to show for the discussions next week where we are coming from. That's what it's about. Okay,
well, it has to put an amendment forward, because based on what I've just said, I would be happy to put an amendment through which said that we deferred it until deter it for consideration at the same time as we meet with Paul Eloise. That's what I would put forward as an amendment.
I would say maybe that's not an amendment, but just an against. Because
no, I'm not against. I'm not against the principle of it. I just think it's this. We just may as well defer it and consider it as an option when we meet with Paul Eloise and we can then hear their options. I don't know. I'm not against it. There's, you know, I'm not saying no.
I understand that. I mean, this may be a constitutional technicality, but you know, in the sense that I think I described it in the way that I wanted the motion to be passed this evening, because we wanted to declare our hand prior to that meeting, which may well result in.
I don't deal in semantics and wordings. You're putting something forward, and I'm saying maybe we should defer it until next. But that's simple English for me. That's all. I don't want to get into.
I will check with Gary's interpretation of this, but can we not have a simple vote, and then we're either voting for this or a deferment? Good luck.
Yes. So do we? So we can amend the wording of the motion to include a deferment in there. So, for example, establish a council committee after meeting with Paul after the next meeting. Or you can do a simple proposed to be deferred. You can double check.
Seems to be what to say, and we don't have to go by what they say, do we?
Yes.
We do.
That's what I'm saying. The whole point of this is that we declare our hand.
That's what we say, you know.
I think ultimately, that's what I was alluding to. It is in East Tolworth planning department that ultimately this would fall under the ownership of. You know, if they're saying, look, this isn't working, and I have to say, to a certain extent, you know, the amount of money that's built up in the MySquid account goes somewhere to show that the way it's been going hasn't worked. Right? So there's over 5 years worth of money sitting in that fund.
But we didn't have bids.
No, we didn't. So why didn't we have bids? Perhaps because that isn't able to be administered properly by Kerry, who hasn't got time to do it because she's doing other things. Is there a better way to do it? I don't, and I'm not saying no to this. I'm not, right? But I just think they should be on the table at the same time to discuss whatever it is they come up with.
Okay, I mean, we'll have a vote on it, but the whole point of me putting it forward now and wanting it determined tonight by this council is that we can show that there's serious desire on our part to run it in this way. Yes, it may be taken from us in future, and the gift is in. I think it's probably still goes back to the original planning decision and the condition in planning. But the establishment of the panel was part of that planning application. The panel has been in place for a number of years, isn't it? So we are just trying to make it better. Yes, it's town council control, but it didn't work very well. So we're proposing a much better model, right? So yeah, I'll just go back to it simply. It's just to put our intent on the table, and then we may have to amend it later.
If you don't think that an amendment works and you simply want a yes or a no vote against that, as long as it is recorded in the minutes that I've said that I would suggest an amendment to defer it, I'm happy to vote against it on that basis. Okay, if that makes sense, because that would be my preferred option. Is to can we defer it to discuss it next time? But if you want a simple yes or no vote, it would be a no clarified, qualified by that statement. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand that. Yeah. I'm happy to accept.
Okay.
For clarity, sorry, just so that everybody's on the same page, it is, as far as I know, it is within East Catawba County Borough Council's gift to set a panel up however they want to do it and to tell us jump and
And not regard the opinions of people locally at all.
No, they'd have to regard the opinions of local people in terms of how they set the panel up later on, but it is within their gift to set that panel up however they want to do it. It's a little like, I know you're a governor on a school, so you're a council representative in terms of being a governor, but you can't tell them how to make up the governorship. For example, you can't tell them how to invite other people to be governors or anything similar. So it's the same thing. You're on the panel of Nice Glynn as invited sort of guests to the panel, but you don't actually get to say how that panel is made up.
And it's not unique to the people, all of the other
Yeah.
community independent operating by administrators, including Glynneath Town, but that will be set up at the outset of the project. And it'll be an aside to that is how that panel is met, how is it set up.
And we could be, most of us around the table, excluded from the final panel. So that, that's the point, and that's what I'm saying. We are trying to persuade them in advance that we really want to be, so that's why
It was a little more put forward as well. I mean, the corner is a lot easier to control as well. So I think,
Okay, so let's vote. I accept the explanations. Okay,
yeah.
So let's vote. All those in favour of this, then, please. Against? Good. So we take that as a note for Haley as well, as you've explained, Simon, that it's minuted to
Yes, if that's okay. Yeah.
protect the logic of your arguments. If you like.
Yeah. So I don't make work for an amendment for the sake of working an amendment, as long as it's clarified and qualified.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, you're not wrong. So that's the conclusion of item 7A. Then, like 7B, now we're on to the recording and publishing of full council meetings. 7B1 is to approve the terms and conditions for publishing recordings. This is that document.
Yeah, so it's a written
Have you got
copy
it?
version.
Have you got this?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. There. And there is a copy there as well. I think you've probably already seen this one.
I read through this on the.
Very.
I read this online. So I take it this is a model based on other good practices.
So that won't tell us how we record meetings or anything similar, but it does safeguard us from other people being able to take our recordings, edit them, just gain money from them, things like that as well. I mean, it's not going to stop people from doing that, because ultimately you've still got to chase that if you see it and find it. But it's a start, because it turns out that actually it's not just about what you upload to YouTube or wherever else. It's actually about how much somebody else can use that, how long you've got the copyright on that for, and similar. So that is there as a background to safeguard us against people using our recordings in a way that we don't want. We're looking at you, Channel 4.
So these rules are set out by us, and anybody who might record or take our recording of anything have got to abide by it.
Yeah.
And that's the law. If they don't, we can challenge them.
Yeah. Right.
So I just want to say, if I think anything through as heard of the rise in artificial intelligence, systems. There are some good and some bad. Now, you know that people can take edited films and turn them into something that look and sound very professional and very realistic. So that's covered in the words I'm sure I read.
I hope so. I mean, if it becomes more of an issue as well, I imagine that generally legislation will change as well. So that would be a good base from which we start adopting and changing things as well.
That's right. So Amanda's happy that we adopt this now? You okay?
Yes,
Yeah. You're
And
2 is to consider avenues for publishing material.
that's because like that policy isn't a policy necessarily for how we do the things. So I wanted to ask, how do you actually want me to publish this? Do we go out? Sorry, we many options are there. I know Glynneath Town have a YouTube channel, and I think I don't know if they actually directly stream to it, but they certainly upload anyway as well. So we've got our own website. but it's worth noting that videos are quite chunky in terms of the amount of data that we're going to put up on the website. So we can embed that into our website. We could look at getting a YouTube channel for Glynneath Town Council, specifically for the meetings, a little bit like Neath Talbot, and work on branding and stuff later on.
Would that be free or cost?
Yeah, free. Yeah, free. So I'd only be looking for things like that would be free.
So the meetings and it was streamed to the YouTube.
They won't get streamed there. I will make sure that I go back because, like, for example, last month we recorded. I completely forgot to press the off key when we would, because it just wasn't, it's not fixed in my head that that's what we're doing.
Right.
So I will just make sure that it's edited. My child will.
The county borough council does that for meetings, and
Yeah.
when they go into a session, they stop recording.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess, I mean, it'll take some administration to do, but is that something Carrie Ann have with
Potentially. I mean, I can look at that. I mean, in theory, setting up a YouTube channel is not actually an issue in that sense. And yeah, I've got a child I can employ to do that for us, so that's not a problem. My concern with putting them up on a website on a basis where we keep that data on the website is that it's a lot of data that we're using in terms of storage.
Yeah.
So we can do both, but it kind of feeds into number 3 on that. If it's on the website, I'd say we take the video down when the next month goes up, unless it turns out that we've got like gigabytes of storage we're not using.
It's pence these days, we kick about storage though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, if it's on YouTube, it's there anyway. It's storage.
Yeah.
But it's not like there's a list of documents and items that councils administer in the One Voice Wales
Yeah.
guidance as to how long the law says.
Yeah, we haven't got, there's no need for us to have that on these. That's not a problem. I'm literally thinking about it in terms of how much data we're using up on a website.
Does it every month renew itself, or it's on there forever? Like?
No,
It's up to us, because if it's,
we could take it out again, we could say purge the old ones.
Somebody also could download it off YouTube and save it onto their own system anyway. So if somebody really wanted to do something with it, so.
No, that's right, yes. It's safeguards, at least it safeguards our position on it.
yeah, we've got a way to say cease and desist, basically.
Okay, so in terms of the second part, then the average publishing, we'll let you explore this.
If I do website and YouTube in the first instance, is everybody happy with that one? If it turns out that some other random stuff turns up and it's like, oh, that's actually a good use of it, I'll bring it back. But is YouTube and website okay?
Yeah, I was happy with that.
Yeah, I think it's really important that we do this. We get into the modern world. You know, we are now, when I first started, I think maybe once we had 20 or 30 people sitting here, whatever we did to do it, 17, 18. You know, we've gone away from that because of COVID has come in and that affected things. We're now hybrid, so we could come here and watch it on there, but it just keeps that openness and transparency as well. So ultimately we have nothing to hide.
I agree with that. I mean, just the cycle of people being interested in coming along, it changes, and in 2 years' time there might be a lot more come again. But in the meantime, technology has come down in price. People can zoom in from home, and so we need to be able to let them catch up if they missed the meeting, or if they want to go back and check something. That's modern. So
before.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I'll still physically be here, don't worry.
What not cancelled in the future?
Yeah.
Sorry. The sort of proposal is to look at the website and the YouTube platforms.
So do you need an answer on an amount of time?
I just say, like, so just for a minute, do you want me to have a look at every month, like, remove, because with the website, I'll have a look and see how much storage we've got. But with YouTube, that's up there for as long as you want it to be.
Okay.
I mean, I appreciate at the moment we're not even going to come to worry about it. But going forward, do you want to have a look at just putting them up there for a year and then taking them down, or do you want to just do that when we come to it?
How long is the county keep meetings now?
I don't know. It's almost on there since we've been doing it.
They got bigger systems, obviously. But anyway, shall we need the clerk look into it?
Yeah. So until it comes
The
to
first
problem,
one,
we defer it until it becomes an
Bring
issue.
it back to us when you
Yeah.
better understand it.
Okay. All happy? Yeah. So 7C is just to receive advance notice of Mark annual leave for August.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry. Normally I wouldn't do it, but it's just a case of letting you know. And yeah, if you need to cancel it, that's fine. But I won't like you anymore. No, it's fine. I was going to take the week of the 5th of August off, come back into work for a week so that I don't have a mountain of emails, and then take the week of the 19th of August off because it's my birthday.
happy returns in advance. The first week is the Easter week. I know about.
Brilliant.
Does the council shut down for August?
No.
The council doesn't have a meeting, an ordinary meeting scheduled for August. But that's the only reason why I decided like sort of your holidays, because then I know I can.
Well,
Actually, saying this.
we're open for emergency meetings if we have to, but
Yeah.
we try and avoid them. The staff are working normally. The machinery of the council chugs on, but kind of takes a backseat, require.
My point on this is that it's called a recess. You have a summer recess and a Christmas recess. Like I can say that.
Yeah.
And it feels as if, well, you stop doing anything, and nobody sees anything happening. And actually, the world still exists, and they still have problems, and we still have issues you've got to deal with. And I find it bizarre that you have a summer recess and a Christmas period recess. It just doesn't sit right to me. Sorry, just in county council, and because of the general elections, but by elections earlier in the year, we are having meetings in August because we have to.
No, I was there when they brought in this idea of a recess, but they didn't stop planning meetings. They didn't stop some certain type of meetings. So to answer you, the only thing that we're actually receiving is the full council meeting for August.
All right, so there isn't going to be a meeting. That's what I want.
No, well, we already sort of said that in the annual meeting that we're going to go June, July, September, October.
I think it's important as well, just to get clarity. It's Kerry Ann,
Yeah, she's still, yeah.
you know, it's still sitting alongside you, so things that happen will continue to happen, and the issues that people
Yeah.
are going in with will still happen, and things like that. Which is put it properly, it should be.
We must give reassurance to the public that the council is running as per normal, but we're not having a meeting in August at the moment unless there's an emergency.
Yeah,
So
it's a kingdom.
Yeah, that's the. Well, that happens
Yeah,
after
Kerry.
the cruise.
Have a nice holiday. Right, so we have item 8, matters pertaining to projects. 8A is to receive an update on Christmas lights.
Sorry, this is just to say that this morning, well, this afternoon, I did meet with Paul Taylor, so we awarded the tender to Light. Paul's come out today to go through our Christmas lights. So we've got, basically there were 3 designs and we were asked to choose between them, but he's actually happy to mix and match them. So we'll have 3 designs, 3 colours in 3 designs as well, red, white and green in all 3 of them. We went through potentially an issue down at the leisure centre just with digging the hole in the ground and things, but whatever we can sort it out with. Centre Group will get back in touch with us about all of that. Everything is flagged up to be installed and dealt with. So we've got 1 banner up by Max Boyce, 1 banner down by Lamb Flag. We will get you some lights, don't worry. I'll get you some fairy lights of your own. The light posts are going up as well, and we've got at the moment 2 trees. Our only issue is potentially if we can't dig into the ground to get the other tree in, but we'll find something to replace it with instead. The light switch on was confirmed for the last Monday, November, 6 o'clock. And yeah, even down to how many lights are in each colour for each design.
So at the prestigious part of our most important member, for instance, the event, there's no lights, there's no thing across the road to say.
We can't put anything across the road yet. We haven't got though we can't use those lamp posts.
So
We can use the lamppost, sorry.
No, yeah.
We can't use the lamppost yet. You saw the email.
Yes.
So I've contacted county. They want the reference number that sits on the columns.
Right.
Or any of the columns we are proposing to use. They give us a cost now. So I'll do that.
Don't worry.
I've given the codes of the lampposts. So that way and that way, they determine if they're suitable and whether the costs will apply. Then we need Kerry to tell us how many of them we can use because of the cost, because of whatever funding we got.
We might just, because we can't get that in the ground at the land
Yeah.
Christmas tree.
Yeah.
We might just be okay with just putting a banner up
Yeah.
there for the moment and
Yeah.
reabsorbing the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
That's the Christmas tree up there.
You've already got one.
In Jenny's garden. Yes, but look, yeah, we'll do these columns and then I still think we can put at least one up there and a couple down that way.
Yeah.
We can come.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And the only other thing then about Christmas, so it's not necessarily because, no, that's fine. Christmas lights, that was that. So as far as I know, and as far as we're all fine, we are fine. He's got it all sorted out. He had it all sorted out today. I love it.
You'll remember here, right, 8B is consider provision of a Christmas panto for December 2024.
Yes. Tina's gone away to get a quote for a panto. She's actually had a couple of quotes. So we had a company out before to do a chaplain. We've got another one which comes in cheaper as well. And so it's a case of, do we want to, as a council, provide a panto for this year? And it'll be the 28th of December. So in that sort of mid period where I would only ask from my point of view for support in terms of there on the day. Although I appreciate last year was just a genuine fluke of everybody being ill.
It's a Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, there's a day in there where it's, yeah.
Oh, kids love it down.
They do.
Right, the only thing about a Saturday, there might be a sporting calendar going on at the same time, but because last year it was on something. No. But whatever day it was, I was there.
Yeah.
You know, just pointing out. So notwithstanding the actual date, the principle of having a panto, like in the first one they had was brilliant. Last year was just a show. It was more of a set of singing and dancing routines and magic, and the children enjoyed it anyway. But it wasn't a panto.
So I think we're looking at it coming in about £900 plus £950 plus VAT. Not including VAT, sorry.
And the last 2 years we've had donations from energy bills.
We have, yeah, which we've put towards it and things, but we've got budget as well.
Yeah. Right. So the question is, in principle, are we happy to pursue the idea of a panto?
I'm happy to panto. We've done it about 70 road and we've got years for a year.
If you've got plans though as well.
No. All I was going to say was,
No.
Please don't come to me to be here on the 28th
Oh,
of December. And I'll be in Australia.
Yeah.
In the
So we-
summer solstice.
Yeah.
Take some cream, Simon.
What are you going to say?
No, forest
I
fire.
won't be there. I won't be there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's you know, it's a good thing to have something on in between Christmas and this year and the children, but Tina is keen to look into the details. So shall we approve it then and let
Yeah,
you and Tina discuss the details? Sure, you come to a good conclusion. Oh yes, it will. Right. So
oh dear God.
nothing.
Well, he's behind it, yeah.
9, matters pertaining to parks and open spaces. So A is to receive the ROSPA reports. And put along the name of all the green number and red.
Yes,
Yes, thanks.
I looked through them as well, so I printed them off so that the ground staff will get them too, and I'll work through them then and just get a list of actions and things. For example, we've got issues on there with the tennis courts, where if it's not safety related, I'm genuinely sitting there thinking, look, it's fine, we've got plans already in place. But things like the bolts, and I was genuinely surprised to see bits of nail in a board, and I thought, this is madness. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Why wouldn't you? So stuff like that where it's safety based for the welfare park and for the tennis courts, we'll deal with it. But otherwise, if it's aesthetics for a minute, we'll just leave it because we know we've got ongoing plans. I've got to go back to the contractors with the skate park because that gap isn't acceptable. And I have already messaged them a load of photos anyway about that in the past. And I know Eloise chased them about that barrier before.
Still hasn't been done.
So we'll chase them back. I know they were waiting on parks and steel, but I thought I'd keep me on top of it all. But I had a backlog for like 10 years, not this. I don't remember what being recorded.
You know what you want us to do? Is it we just
No, it's just to note them for the moment. I will go through them. If there's anything that I need to bring back in more detail, where we need quotes or any new bits of kit or anything, I'll do that. But I'm working through them and we'll get a list out to the ground staff as soon as I got through them. But I just want them to come to council, so I know if you see them, you've had a look at them, this is the sort of thing we get back. We have asked for itemised and dedicated maintenance plans for 3 areas. They haven't sent us those yet, so they'll come. They did say in a couple of weeks.
Responsibility of the ground staff isn't down there, is it?
For the isn't for
The grass and the things down around the skate park.
yeah, skate park towers, yeah.
So a lot of chaps go down there to cut the grass and.
Yeah. So the dynamic park, the skate park, and it's the North Welfare Park. All of those bits on the hospitals.
Yes, and that's why they want to insurance the tractor to get.
Yeah. So the Kubota goes down there
Right.
then, yeah. Because that's flat. And in fairness, it doesn't actually hold as much water as the cemetery. So it's a lot easier to get down.
In terms of receiving this, then, look, no more questions, we're happy to minute that it's received, okay? Good, fine, B, now then just to receive an update regarding the welfare park conservation projects.
This is just a standing item on there. So we know that we've got funding streams starting to dovetail together for that. I have sent out the award and the successful and unsuccessful letters to bidders or for tenderers. I am dealing with one set of questions and one set of challenges to our scoring.
Okay.
I will say no, that one is actually taking up a lot of time for a minute.
Is
So
it going to slow down? No.
No, a decision was made, so the winning tenderer has to get down then.
it's a case of full council has made the decision in fairness, so we need to just make sure we go through it properly then, because it's under Procurement Act rules.
The meetings were conveyed.
Yeah, I think, sorry.
I was going to say that. I think as much credit as we possibly can give to Kerry for the way in which she set out those traditional that she set out the tenders, the engagement that she had with the legal officers at the procurement team to make sure that it was done properly. She has done, and we have followed that to the T. We're part of it as well, you know. And you know, whilst there are challenges, and you know, there are companies. There's an awful lot of money for a scheme that companies want. You know, they want to put their name towards. This is probably, I think, the biggest playground. If you want to call it that, playground scheme, probably in Wales. To gives the value. So they were keen for it. So they want to know why they haven't got it. They're a bit concerned, you know, that, as you can imagine, it's turnover and it's advertising and marketing for them as well. So there's all of that. But I firmly believe, and what I've seen, yeah, that could be closed down quite quickly, and then the process are ongoing in the background.
Well, the meeting that you had with all those scoring things, you know, I've been involved with other ones, nothing happened, but that's not trivial. You go through every single.
We were out for like sort of 3 hours on that.
That's the process to take, but this needed a process, and the process worked.
Yeah, and there's something in the background.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
We'll help where we can, backing up the
I still thought it was
One minute, the amount of applaud.
Oh.
Oh, thank you.
very well.
Right, let's bounce on to number 10 then. So 10A planning application, whatever it is, 2024/0353 single story front extension and installation of one belt window in the rear roof slope. The main dwelling house, 2A, Wine Ground, Glynneath. Any observations, objections, or no? Intention? No? Otherwise, no objections?
Which is number 2 then, is it up?
2A, is the first or second on the left, on the right?
As you don't want to see it, you know, as you win.
Probably, isn't that one?
Yes.
Okay, well, whichever one it is, if there's no objections.
Oh, no, I knew it isn't the one there.
Yes, I don't know if I said that. I thought it was one, but you know, whatever it is.
Even dump corner.
Gary, is that that?
No objections.
No,
Okay, good. Right, Joachim, so we have the end of the open session now, and so we come to the last item. So before that, we are recommended to introduce standing order 3C, which is to close the meeting to members of public and press and anybody else who's here.
yeah, shut it down.
And then I'm calling to stop.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. don't-
Okay.
Exactly.
I will stop the recording.
What was second? Yeah. Well, that's what we see.
No,
Which part of Australia, man?
hang on.